Sri Lanka cancels exams over a paper shortage. And a farmer was transported to the hospital with a live chicken in his rectum. And UK companies are searching for buff butlers because there's a shortage of naked men right now. These are the weird stories for Monday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a little closet in Los Angeles. That's a mouthful. Sri Lanka cancels school exams because of a paper shortage. They don't have enough paper. Sri Lanka canceled school examinations for millions of students in their country after running out of paper. Never heard of such a thing. How do you run out of paper? Paper's really cheap, man. Just go to the dollar store, bro. Oh, I would have welcomed the paper shortage when I was in school. I hated tests. I hated quizzes. I would have welcomed that. All I wanted was the bell to ring and for me to go outside and play sports. Meanwhile, I was in the back of the class cracking jokes and never paid attention. My grades were terrible. I would have welcomed the paper shortage. Turns out Sri Lanka's got some issues, man. They're contending with their worst financial crisis ever in their country since independence in 1948. It's got to be pretty bad when you can't even afford paper. That's real bad. Now, education authorities said on Saturday the term tests scheduled a week from Monday are postponed indefinitely due to an acute paper shortage. That's exactly what it says. Paper shortage. Can't have testing. I suppose you could move to digital. Ah, shit, if you can't afford paper, you can't afford to move to digital. They got issues. Well, you know, they could always kick it old school and go oral exams. That's like an old school way to do it, right? I'm just trying to come up with a solution here. All right, we got a quote here, and it's a little weird. I'm going to try and get through it. It says, quote, school principals cannot hold the tests as printers are unable to secure foreign exchange to import necessary paper and ink. Oh, it sounds like it's not just a paper issue, it's ink as well. Ink is not cheap, man. You try and replace the ink in your printer. Why is the printer $40 but the ink's $100? Never understood that. It also says here, milk sachets, whatever those are, chicken, and fuel. Basics are slipping out of reach for Sri Lankans as economic crisis bites even more. Official sources say the problem could hold up testing for around two-thirds of the country's 4.5 million students. And these tests are very important. Term tests are part of a continuous assessment process to decide if students are promoted to the next grade at the end of the year. Does that mean they're going to hold them back while they wait for these tests? I say oral tests, bro. Kick it old school, oral testing. A debilitating economic crisis brought on by a shortage of foreign exchange reserves to finance essential imports has seen Sri Lanka run low on fuel, food, and pharmaceuticals as well. It's a very cash-strapped nation of 22 million people. My goodness, they're having a hard time over here. Well, the world is just falling apart at the seams for everybody, it seems like. My goodness. Now, they're considering a bailout. It says here, the International Monetary Fund on Friday confirmed it was considering President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's request to have a bailout for the country. Sri Lanka has also asked China, one of its main creditors, to help put off debt payments, but there has been no official response yet from Beijing. Come on, help them out, Beijing. They can't even test the kids. They don't even have paper. How do you not have paper? It's a real shit show when you don't even have paper. Will somebody help them, man? Build an app for the kids. Some sort of app that they can do all their testing through. Seems like a nice solution. I'm just trying to help out the world, guys, you know. One Weird AF News segment at a time. An egg farmer was brought to the hospital with a live chicken stuck inside his rectal cavity. How do you get a chicken stuck up your rectal cavity? This guy's up to no good. It says here a farm owner from Shelbyville, Indiana, had to be transported to the hospital in critical condition with an extremely agitated hen more than half buried inside his rectum. How do you get a hen up your rectum, man? Some strange sort of chicken up the butt fetish. I don't feel bad for this guy at all because he's obviously shoving chickens up his butt. And he also runs an egg farm. So that means some people have been eating the eggs of the chickens that were shoved up his rectum in the past. I don't support this at all. Let's get some more information, though. How do you get a chicken out of your rectum once it's up there? It says Shelby County paramedics were called to answer a medical emergency concerning a serious accident. I don't think this is an accident, man. I think this guy's shoving chickens up his butt for years. This involved a farm animal. Upon arriving on the site, they found 57-year-old Christopher Adams drunk, bloodied, and naked on a henhouse floor with a loudly clucking 5-pound chicken sticking out of his rectum. Come on, no! Is this real, this story? How can this be? The fact that he's inebriated and naked in the henhouse, I mean, this just leads you to believe he's into it. He voluntarily went. A chicken didn't convince you to take off your pants, bro. The paramedics briefly tried to remove the agitated bird from its uncomfortable position, but to no avail, and had to transport Mr. Adams and the bird to the major hospital. How's the bird clucking if its head's up the rectal? Is he clucking inside his rectum? You can still hear it? That's got to be painful to have a chicken up there and also clucking away, moving its beak around. Oh, man. I'm so sorry. I crossed the line with that little sentence. Now, they talked to a doctor named Thomas who extracted this bird after an extremely delicate 7-hour surgical intervention. It says the man and the animal would have died if they waited any longer to remove it. Well, I mean, I assume the bird's going to die anyways. Did it live? It says here, quote from the doctor, "The bird was dying of suffocation when it got here. It had already badly lacerated the patient's bowels in a desperate attempt to get out and was still gashing at it like crazy, as you can imagine. The hen was finally extracted and suffered only minor physical injuries from its ordeal, while Mr. Adams necessitated, I think I got that right, necessitated? Yeah, that's a word. Oh boy, public school showing up. Necessitated 7 blood transfusions and more than 780 stitches. 7 blood transfusions for this guy? This guy's just taking up all the blood for his stupid little fetish. Oh, man. Just people with their dumb fetishes. I don't understand it myself. I've covered a lot of fetishes on this show, by the way. They're out there, man. It's like a new one every month. Dr. Thomas says it's a miracle that both the farmer and the hen are still alive, and question what caused the bird to get stuck in there. Oh, the doctor's curious. What could have got the bird stuck up there? Because the guy's a freak, man. Do you not know that, Dr. Thomas? Wow. All that medical schooling and you're still dumb. Here's a quote from the doctor, who makes a shit ton of money, but is obviously dumber than me. I don't really know how the bird got there, but getting it out was so complicated and damaging that I can't imagine that getting it in could have been any fun either. Dr. Thomas, who extracted the hen from Mr. Adams' rectal cavity, says it's a miracle that they both survived. Although it says here Mr. Adams has yet to regain consciousness to explain his side of the story. I think we know his side of the story. He got caught with his pants down in a hen house and he was wasted. What do you think the story is? Think he's going in there to feed them naked and drunk? Hey guys, come and get your food. This guy's a mess and he ought to have his egg farming license revoked, clearly, because you can't be shoving the hens up your butt and then also selling their eggs. You know, and it's a hen abuse, really, at the end of the day. This is animal abuse. All right. Well, that's how I feel about it anyways. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. A UK company is looking for buff butlers because there's a national shortage of naked men, apparently. 2 UK-based companies are searching for men who like to work out and show off their body in order to help hen party celebritors have the best time. Butlers with Bums and the Adonis Cabaret, 2 UK companies, say there is currently a national shortage of naked men. They're running out of men for their hen parties. I didn't know what the hell a hen party was. I had to look it up. It's basically a bachelorette party. And then I was curious, why do they use the term hen? It says, in formal English, hen signifies a female of any bird species and was first coined in the early 14th century. However, in slang, hen means a woman. This term dates from the 1620s. So a hen party is a party for ladies, a bachelorette party, also known as. And apparently there's not enough naked men in the UK. Where have they gone? The only jobs specifics are, quote, to be confident and up for mingling with some hens. You must also be between the age of 23 to 38 and, quote, unafraid to bare your booty, as this is a naked butler's role. Director of Butlers with Bums. Such a funny name, Butlers with Bums. What do they show up dressed as butlers and then they take it off? So director of the Butlers with Bums and former butler himself, Dan Harley, has said that demand is beginning to increase again after the pandemic. He also said the national shortage of naked men is proving a real problem for his business. Turns out no one wants to show their bum. Dan is quoted here. Well, we have a lot of demand for our buff butlers across the UK right now for hen do's, birthday parties and corporate events, but because of the pandemic, there's a national shortage of guys. It's becoming a bit of a problem for us. Those lucky enough to get the position will be required to wear Butlers with Bums' signature black and pink attire, including an apron where you'll be showing your bum at the back. You'll also wear a collar, cuffs, and a bow tie. Oh, I see there's a photo here of the butlers. They don't wear much. It's a bow tie and what looks like a little apron, and that's about it. I wonder what they pay to be a butler with a bum. It says, so if you're up for a laugh and a flash of the derriere, then this could be just the job for you guys in the UK. Come on now. The company is also on the lookout for models for life drawing classes, with men notoriously less inclined to volunteer for this role. Former actor and performer Tristan Mills, who runs the Adonis Cabaret, said that, quote, we are hoping to expand our shows and recruit many more guys. We know there are gym enthusiasts and fitness lovers out there that are perfect for this job and would like them to urgently get in touch with us and get involved. So what will the butler position involve? As the buff butler that you are, you'll be engaging in all sorts of playful party antics. Like what? From serving up canapes and tipples? I said that incorrectly. Tipples. I have no idea what that is. Also, you'll be posing with hens for photos. What else are you going to be doing? Whipping it out? Is this do you get completely naked? I've seen these videos, man. They start out, behaved. You keep your apron on, but eventually all that goes. Next thing you know, there's all sorts of hens on you. Says if this sounds like your sort of thing, you can find out more information by heading over to butlerswithbums.com and adoniscabaret.co.uk. So if any of you guys over there are in shape and looking for some extra cash, and you don't mind a bunch of hens clawing at your abs, licking the nape of your neck, these crazy hen parties, I can imagine. Oh, those women they treat you like an object, don't they? Oh, it's terrible stuff. Oh, just embarrassed. I'm just playing. You know what I think might be going on here is everybody's still got a pandemic body. That's why you got nobody joining. Still walking around with that pandemic 20, 25 pounds. So that's what I'm thinking that might be the thing. Or it's just people really don't want to work anymore. I mean, people are not going back to the workforce. That's another phenomenon. So perhaps, these men with abs are like, screw that, I'm not going back there. I'll just sit on my OnlyFans account. You could probably make more money being at home with your abs and showing them on video, perhaps. People with nice bodies can find a way to make money online, it seems to me. You don't have to actually go and be around like sweaty human beings that are wasted and might touch you inappropriately. So why not just do it at home at that point? That's just my theory. I don't know. Perhaps you have a theory. Call 646-450-2012.
Yay!
Hello, it's your host, Jonesy. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Weird AF News and spending a little time with me. It's a very competitive market, the podcast industry, so I appreciate every individual who decides to listen to mine. It's a ridiculous podcast, I realize, recorded inside a closet. I don't expect much, but you joined me, and I appreciate that. I also want to say thanks to everyone who reached out to me over the weekend, who sent me Florida Friday stories. I hope you enjoyed the Florida Friday episode. I thought it was a pretty good one. Hope you had a nice weekend. I was traveling outside of LA, but now I am back. I was in San Francisco. I don't know if you happen to have heard the train going by during some of those recordings. Yeah, that was the N. Judah which is the train line that runs right past the window of the bedroom I was staying in. It's pretty damn loud and runs all night long. So you can imagine I had some good night's sleep. I have some people who were very generous, and so let's give them some love on the show right now. Thanks and praise, as I like to call it. Chris Davis bought me a coffee. That's right. Chris Davis bought me a coffee off my website, weirdafnews.com, which is a nice little way to support the show. And you can write me a little message, and Chris wrote, I just heard my first episode, and it was a Florida Friday. I loved it. And that's it. This dude heard Florida Friday and was like, I'm going to buy Jonesy a coffee. How amazing is that? Off of one episode. Most people listen to one episode, and then they go write me a shitty review on Amazon. Not Chris Davis. Chris Davis is like, you know what? This dude's onto something here. Spreading the good behavior of Florida all around the world. Letting everybody know that you should not go there. I'm keeping people safe is what I'm doing. By letting everybody know the sort of quality citizens that we have that inhabit the state of Florida. Thank you, Chris Davis. Doesn't say where you're from, but I appreciate you. I hope you'll keep listening anyways. Also, I had a new patron named Joy. Joy joined the Patreon. Oh, unbelievable. Got an email about it this morning. So excited. Just want to give a big thanks and love to Joy for joining the Patreon. Joy, please enjoy the extra content that's inside the Patreon. I put some stuff in there over the weekend. Just funny, weird videos that I come across, extra articles, follow-ups to previous stories that I come across. Anything weird that I think might be extra, just put it in there if I think that people might enjoy it. Yeah, a lot of content in there. So please enjoy that, Joy. And thank you again for showing your generosity by joining the Patreon and supporting Weird AF News. I really appreciate all the support I get. I really do. It really blows me away, the kindness and the great emails that I get and just people reaching out. It's just lovely. You guys can always email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. You can send articles there as well. Or you can reach out on the Instagram @funnyjones as well. So that's a place you can find me. I'm not going to publish any phone calls till tomorrow, but feel free to call the show now, 646-450-2012. Express yourself. We are about freedom of expression here. Just don't drop the F-bomb. Please think about the kids, man. Think about that. It's already bad enough what I'm doing. Think about the kids. All right. Thanks again for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta.